Hello? Hello. Okay, good morning everyone. How are you guys doing? Good? Okay, so welcome to Anthropology classes. Okay, so in today's class, I will try and give you a brief introduction to anthropology as a subject, okay, its scope and meaning, okay, and then we will start, if time permits, the first chapter in socio-cultural anthropology, that is the institution of marriage, okay. So before that, there are few slides or few topics that we will discuss, general questions that all of you will be having, okay, so that after class you don't have to once again come back and approach me and ask these questions. So commonly asked questions with respect to anthropology as an optional subject and how we are going to do it over here. All right, so first one is how many classes. Okay, so right from the beginning all of you will be eager to complete off the syllabus, okay, so that you can give your exam as quickly as possible. So generally I take about 100 classes. Okay, so within this 100 class, I will be comprehensively covering all the topics that is mentioned in the syllabus. Nothing will be left. Okay, so everything will be explained. You will have notes for all these topics after the end of 100 classes. Okay, so 100 plus or minus. Again, it depends on you guys. Okay, if we are able to pick up and understand topics better, we may be able to reduce the number of days. Is that okay? So 100 days distributed over about 4 to 5 months. Okay, I don't talk about in terms of months or I will finish by this date, etc. We will try and do a good job. At the end of the day, when we finish anthropology, okay, all of you should be comfortable. When the exam is there, you should be able to score very good marks. That's the objective. Not completing the syllabus as quickly as possible. Okay, I can do that, and make it appear that I have completed the syllabus, satisfy you also, all that can be done. But that's not the objective. The objective is to make sure you understand and you are able to write good answers, cover the syllabus as per the UPSC syllabus, okay, as per the demand of the examination. Is that okay? So I require generally about 100 days, but usually it increases because every time I add new topics based on the changing circumstances of the examination. Okay, let's see. So what all, how we are going to do that, we'll see that later. About 5 months, okay, you will be completing your syllabus, and you guys have a little bit more time since most of you are giving in 2025. Okay, so instead of hurrying it up, I would suggest that we will focus on making sure that we will focus on good quality content, understanding, etc. Is that okay, guys? Fine. So that is how many classes? About 100 classes. Next, till when the recorded classes will be available? So some of them who will be joining us later on, okay, they will be worried about recorded classes, or some wants to watch these videos again for revision, etc. They will be available throughout the course, in a couple of months even after the course. Okay, so it's not like we will be waiting for the class to get over and we will remove the course and so that you come again, nothing like that. Okay, so it will be available for 4 or 5 months even after the completion of the course. Is that okay? So that you can revise certain topics that you might not have understood. All right, certain things that you would want to revise once again. Okay, there will be some difficult topics which I would also suggest that you watch it once again to get better clarity. Okay, so they will be available even after the course, so don't worry about that. Then I have joined late, so some of them who will be watching this first video later on, not you guys, but when they join later, how do you address it? So see, anthropology, we will be doing it in different sections, okay, and each section can be understood separately. So we are going to do first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 5 sections. So in case if you have missed the first section, you can start with the second section, third, fourth, fifth, and then once again cover the first section. Is that okay? So you don't have to worry, you can join in between, okay, each section, and you can cover. Even otherwise, you guys, some of you might be giving some other examination, you might be focusing on prelims. If you miss class, or some of you might be also preparing for some other master's degree or something like that. In case if you have exam, you did not attend these classes, okay, you can come to the next section and start from that section also. Live classes are always good, okay, attending it offline would be always good because we can interact, okay, any doubts etc. is there, we can interact and resolve it then and there itself. So in case if you miss a section for whatever reasons, health reasons, other reasons, you can start with the new section. Is that understood, guys? Even for you who are going to miss in between. A lot of students will be there like that. For various reasons, they might have to stop a section in between. Okay, then how many hours should I dedicate for anthropology? Now that is a very specific or individual based question. How many hours can you give is the first question. Okay, some of you might be attending general studies along with optional classes, I'm assuming. Yes, how many of you are attending general studies? Yes, so quite a lot of you are attending general studies. So that itself what takes 5-6 hours of your day? Yes, and anthropology another 3 hours. So almost 9 hours goes in attending classes itself. So but it is also essential that you read a little bit before coming to class, read little bit after completion of class to keep yourself updated regularly. It should not be like today I teach something and tomorrow you will be like what just happened, okay, or what did we discuss. It should not be like that. So if you ask me in my classes, okay, so if you ask me in my classes, you don't have to spend many hours after our classes, at least half an hour after you complete your class, okay, and before coming to the class another half an hour, okay, so that you are oriented to what is happening in the class. It should not be a surprise every day, just to keep yourself oriented. See, it's a very easy subject, anthropology. See, that's the only advantage anthropology has. It's interesting, easy to remember. You don't forget it as quickly. It's because a lot of things are stories, a lot of things are something which you appreciate on your day-to-day basis. It's not very theoretical. Okay, there are theories, I'm not saying that. Majority of the topics, however, are something which you experience on a day-to-day basis. Marriage, you would have seen people getting married. You are studying about it, so there is a kind of understanding in that based on your experiences. There is marriage where husband and wife is there. There are marriages where husband will have more wives. There are marriages where wives will have more husbands. You can understand it, you can picture it, you can visualize it through your recollection of movies and things like that. So anthropology is easy to in that way. Okay, you don't forget it within few days or so. But I would expect you to at least give 1 hour, because now you are spending almost 9 hours attending classes, traveling, that, this, etc. At least 1 hour, okay, is all that I ask you to give for anthropology on a daily basis. Okay, understanding, the notes making, the keywords that you need to focus, all of that we'll do it in the class itself. Okay, then and there itself. Okay, and what is required for you to write good answers, we'll do it later after that. I'll tell you, it is a step-by-step process. But 1 hour every day, and maybe on a Saturday and Sunday when we don't have anthropology class, you can give about 3 hours on Saturday and 3 hours on Sunday to just recap whatever we have discussed. It is not to again keep in mind or remember everything that we have discussed in class. There is no use in doing that. I'll repeat again, whatever we teach today, okay, the keywords that you will learn today, you understand it, make note, underline it. Okay, there is no need to remember today itself, because even if you remember today, after 15 days you will forget it. After 1 month you will forget it. Okay, so why unnecessarily work hard today when you know that you're not going to remember it later? Okay, so the first stage of anthropology class is to understand and make notes and orient yourself that these are the keywords for this particular topic. Is that okay? So by hearting, trying to remember, all that will happen next year, 2025, when you write your mains, not now. Need not happen now. Okay, I will tell you those how to prepare all that later on. So how many hours should you give for anthropology? Just about 1 hour every day, half an hour. Once you finish class, go just quickly revise in between classes when you have time waiting for your teacher. Okay, next, should I read textbooks? No need. Okay, because whatever we do in class will be comprehensive. Whatever notes I give you in class will be comprehensive. Okay, because I will be reading those textbooks myself, or I have read, and from that I will be making my notes and giving it to you. So basically you would indirectly be reading all these textbooks through me. Okay, so there would be 1 or 2 which I would suggest you to read later on, but for now there is no need. I know a lot of you people will be in Josh, I want to start now only, have a head start. All that is romantic, but practically it is not possible because you are already attending 9 hours of class. So you have come here to outsource your hard work, so let it be, that's all. So you have outsourced the hard work, let me give you the understanding what you will get from studying various textbooks. So you don't need to read any textbooks. You can buy the textbooks and keep it, okay, and refer it now and then. Okay, internet has several topics like this on socio-cultural anthropology, biological, you can refer that. So only for reference. If you need more clarity, that's all. But I doubt you will need it because you will get clarity in the class itself. So you can buy and keep it, just to give that comfort that you have something other than your notes, is what I would suggest. There are few textbooks which I would refer later on, maybe as an additional source to increase your scores. But with the notes, 120 you can easily score. More than that, but I'm just trying to be more conservative, 120 you can score out of 250. Just to elevate, you need to improve your answer writing. Maybe few topics I will tell you to read from other sources, outside syllabus kind of topics. For now, there is no need for any textbooks. Will I get my class presentations? No, because that makes you very passive, okay, or lazy. So I want you to be more active, especially morning 7 o'clock classes. Okay, so just look around how many students are there now. I know after few months, a lot of students are going to face a lot of self evaluation. They will realize that it's not my cup of tea, etc., and things will go. So you need to be sustainable in your preparation. Okay, and that happens only when you are actively present over here. So everything that is there in the PPT I will be giving you as notes. Actively you will have to write it so that you will be awake throughout the 3 hours of class. So each class will be for 2.5 to 3 hours. Okay, it depends on the difficulty of the topics that we are covering. If it is difficult, we will reduce the hours to 2.5 hours. If it is easy, we will increase it to 3 hours. There will be no breaks and all in between. Okay, because we'll be, if we take a break, I feel that again to come back and reorient yourself will take some time. Okay, so 7 to 10 we will try and take these classes. So these are some of the common questions that usually students ask. Okay, so now I will tell you the strategy, okay, what you need to adopt in order to clear this examination in the first attempt itself, and then how we are going to approach anthropology subject. That's what we are going to do. So I think these are some common questions that is asked in the, by you guys. Okay, is that okay? Is there any doubt other than this? Okay, we'll start and then maybe you will have more doubts. Okay. See, I can assure you that these classes will be interesting. So you all have got up early in the morning and come for this class, and it's my duty not just to make it exam oriented, but also a little bit interesting, so that the next 3 hours doesn't seem to be an effort. It should go through, it should be a breeze that you finish this 3 hours. All right. So what can you expect from what is expected out of you, what you are supposed to do in this 3 hours or in anthropology. Very simple, have a comprehensive notes. See, anthropology or optional subjects, okay, the syllabus is there, and usually questions are asked, and almost always questions are asked from within the syllabus. Maybe 2-3 questions are asked from outside syllabus. So you need to have content. Understanding will do it in the class, but after 6 months you will forget it. Once you start for preparing for prelims, you will forget it. Then again you can't sit and search for textbooks and other things. Is that okay? So while understanding, you also make this comprehensive notes which you will be revising 20 to 30 times. I'm not exaggerating. At least 20 to 30 times you have to revise your notes. You should know which the heading is in which side of your page. Okay, right or left, top or bottom. That kind of revision is expected out of you. Then you can score 120 plus in each paper. Is that okay? Most of the topics will be direct or from within the syllabus. So when they ask that question, you should be simply writing. Okay, less thinking and more writing. The more points you write, more marks you get. How will you be able to write more points? Only when you have clarity of thoughts. And when will you have clarity of thoughts? When you revise. There will be certain keywords. Okay, there will be certain keywords that you have to incorporate in your answers. There will be certain names of anthropologists that you have to incorporate in your answers. There will be certain facts that you have to incorporate in your answers. Your answer should have all the headings. Your answer should have all dimensions. When I say dimensions, different points, not just one point and just beating around the bush. The more points you write, the better marks you are going to get. The more dimensions you add to your answers, the more marks you are going to get. Okay, the more facts and more names that you add or relevant names that you add, you are going to get more marks. The keywords that you is essential for a definition, a keyword to essential to explain a concept if it is there, then you get more marks. And these, okay, understanding is very easy. Again, I'm telling you, it's a very easy subject. You can understand. But when I tell you to write, it gets challenging because sometimes you don't forget sometimes you don't remember the keywords. Facts you won't remember. Oh, yes, sir told that, I'm not able to recollect. Dimensions, after 2 dimensions, mental block. It's not going to go forward. Array, it is there, 5 points is there. I am only recollecting only 2 points. This happens. The only way to address it is not reading from new sources, is not to attend one more class. The only way to do that is revision. If I ask you multiplication of 7 threes are, do you know it? If I tell you what is 6 nines are, do you know it? How do you know it? What logic did you apply? Did you say 7 threes are, oh, 7 in my mind, 7 in my hands, 7 plus 7, then one more 7, so 7, 7. Are you doing that? That's the logic. That's the understanding. 7 threes are means 7 plus 7 plus 7. Did you do that? Then how did it come out? How did it come out? Repetitive revision or whatever, by hearting. That is, some of you might say, no, I'm not good in by hearting. What is 7 threes are? Correct, no, even I used to believe that. But after coming to this field, see, I come from a science field where you understand, you write in your own words. That also happens here, no doubt. But at the same time, what happens, it's a competitive examination. You have to be at the top. Okay, so what is expected out of you is understanding plus writing all these things. Okay, so in that way, how do you address all of that? By heart. And how do you by heart? Don't think by hearting is negative or something like that. By hearting means repeatedly reading, and it comes when I say, okay, it is incest taboo. If I ask you a 10 marker, you should know 10 points to write under it. If I tell you endogamy, marriage, you should know what 10 points you are supposed to write. Like 7 threes are, 6 fours are, like that. That comes only with repeated revision. Okay, so all these things you have to do. So for that you need first a comprehensive notes, because you tend to forget. Okay, these keywords, not the understanding. You'll never forget the understanding because it's easy. But 100% you will forget these keywords, etc. what we come across. Is that okay? See, you understood keywords, names, facts. In the last page of your book, write down this. Okay, so what you have to write to improve or beautify your answer, last page. Okay, so write down, you have to remember keywords. Okay, names of anthropologists, names of scholars, names of their books if possible. See, if somebody is getting 80% marks and you are asking how to get a little bit more, write their book's name, write the source, etc. It is difficult to remember, that's why you are getting only 80%. Okay, then facts. So facts can include data, the year, okay, etc. Book names, etc. Headings, very important, headings and subheadings. So these will help you to write more. Headings and subheadings will help you to write more. Alright, then the various dimension, economic point of view, political point of view. Okay, now why would somebody practice polygamy, meaning plurality of husbands or plurality of wife? It can be for economic reasons, it can be for political reasons, it can be for some other biological reasons. If somebody wants to have more number of children, they will have more number of wives. A society, okay, which goes to war or is in constant war. I'll repeat again, a society which is in constant war. Okay, who is going to win a war? Somebody who has large number of fighters or warriors. They are going to win the war. Okay, now who is supposed to produce that? The leaders is supposed to produce more number of children. The warriors have to produce more number of children. So they all will come to the battle and they will fight and win the war. So if you see warring communities or those societies which is in constant war, their objective is to have more number of children. So what is the reason to have more number of children? Political. To have more number of children, obviously you need wives, more number of wives. So the leader will be allowed to marry more than one person. So we see polygamy in such society. So what is the reason? Political reason. Did you understand? So political dimension I have addressed. Another society, let's say agrarian society, more labor, more will be the productivity in agriculture. Correct, no? Agriculture is labor intensive. So more number of labor, more will be the productivity. So there also should we have more number of children? Again, how do we have more number of children? More number of wives. A man having more number of wives will be able to get more number of children. From all the wives, he will be able to get children. At the same time, in 9 months, if he has 9 wives, 9 children. Hypothetically. Okay. So what is the reason behind that now? Economic. Agreed? Cultural. Okay, in those society where men are dominant, machoism. How will they show machoism? By attracting more number of females. So what is that reason? Culture. Did you understand? Political, economic. Now, if women are feeling bad about this example, let's see in various cases where women are allowed to have more number of husbands. So same economic reason I will tell you. In some society where there is shortage of resource, like among the Tibetans, okay, where you have a very dry climate, cold dry climate, where resources are limited. When resources are limited, if we have large population, what will happen? The society will collapse. Large population, limited resource, what will happen? Society will collapse. So we have to come up with something to reduce the population without, affecting companionship, love and sexual relationship. We want to reduce the population. How is it done? Here, women are allowed to have more number of husbands. Okay, so that population will reduce. Ulta. So if women is having more number of husbands, she will not have three, three husbands means at the same time she will not have three children. Not possible. She can bear only one child at a time. So the husband and wife will have companionship, love, that is there. Children, bearing children, that is there. But it is solving one problem of that society. What is that? Population. So they reduce the size of the population. So here what is the reason? Again, economic reason. So you have to write different dimensions. Is that okay? We'll come to that. So those dimensions, more you write, the more marks you get. There are other dimensions in anthropology. This is something which is easy for you to understand, but there are other dimensions of in anthropology like functional point of view, structural point of view, cultural point of view. Okay, like that we will also analyze various dimensions as we progress. Right. So these notes has to be converted into a micro notes containing these things. Whatever we discuss in class and write down in the class will be 3 pages for a topic, let's say. All 3 pages cannot be revised very quickly. So at the end we will have somewhere around 600 pages of notes. Very difficult to revise. On a single day if you have to revise entire anthropology, you have to convert those 600 pages into let's say 50 or 100 pages where it will help you to revise. So there you will only write down these things, not the story. The story, the analysis, the elaboration, etc. will be there in your notes. That notes you have to convert it into micro notes or revision notes or whatever you call it. I will show you how to do that later point of time. Okay, that is micro notes. Then list of cases, data, facts for easy revision. Same thing. All these things should be easily available. Case studies, because whenever you, now when I gave you this example, when I gave you this topic, I gave you some examples to help you better understand. Same way when you write your answer, to better explain it to the examiner, you have to add examples or case studies. So that's the utility of case study. So in anthropology, okay, you are expected to write a lot of examples, case studies. What's the objective of it? In order to strengthen your argument. Ram is a good boy. That's a statement that you make. You have to tell why Ram is a good boy. He is a good boy because he attends class at 7 o'clock in the morning. He writes answers regularly. Okay, he revises notes every day. Therefore, Ram is a good boy. So you have given examples, data, facts to support your argument. What was your argument? Ram is a good boy. Hangene, same way, you will also have to do this way, that you have to add case studies to substantiate. Now I gave you the example of what? Tibet. Okay, so the other example would have been the Arabs. Is that okay? So by telling that among the Tibets, you like, oh okay, you pictured your mind, you went to Tibet, came back to Bangalore. So that's how it is. So examiner also has to be in that zone to help them understand that you have understood. Okay? So those things. And then some standards textbook only for reference, later point of time, not now. Don't buy now, waste money, time, etc. Later point of time, just to improve your more understanding, etc. outside the syllabus. So this is what is expected out of you guys. Is that okay? That's all. I don't expect you to sit and study for 10 hours. Don't have sleepless nights. Okay, nothing like that. Don't leave social media. I'm not asking you to do all of that. Okay, you should be able to balance your life, whatever is sustainable. See, because first day, a lot of students are enthusiastic. If we have to maintain this, because it's not a, it's not like in 3 months you will clear, everything will be hunky-dory, you will get married, you will get, all praises. It won't happen like that. Minimum you have to give about 2 to 3 years, 3 years. Now, you will only see success if everything goes well. The soonest or the most closest year that you are going to see success is 2026. Is that okay? 2026. Don't feel bad. Okay, 2026 is quite close only. Now is 24. Next year you will be giving prelims and mains. The results, interview, etc. will come only in 2026. So you need to be sustainable. Okay, the graph of your preparation should not go like this. Okay, now you are here, Josh. early morning 7 o'clock, took a cup of tea and came, sat in the class. Okay, as we go, it should not dip. Is that okay? Either you maintain it or you should increase it. Remember that. It's not like a 100 meters race, okay, where you finish in 100 meters. It is 50 kilometers, 100 kilometers race. If things goes wrong, it might even increase. So you have to make sure that you are sustainable in your preparation. Is that okay? So what is necessary is to make sure that you keep increasing your potential each day by just 0.5% also is enough, or 0.5 also is more, 0.1% each day you increase, it's enough. Keep yourself motivated. Is that okay? So to keep yourself sustainable, this is what is required. I don't expect you to read 10 hours every day. I don't expect you to read any other notes. Is that okay? Just about 1 hour every day after class. Is that okay? Fine. So that is what is expected out of you. All right. So the first attempt strategy, okay, 2025 May, if you are planning to clear, it is possible. It is very much possible, okay, if you have the right strategy, okay, and then other things which we will be discussing, okay. So right now we are in this month, April. Okay, this is important. If you want, in the last page you can write down. Okay, so sometimes see you have to go to the very basic school level training kind of an approach, okay, because it's a very competitive examination. Okay, right strategy is what will be a game changer. Consistency and right strategy. Now if you see, you are in the month of April, okay, so April to October, or the entire 2024, you give it for learning. So now if I say learning, 80% of your time should go for learning, reading new things, learning new concepts, exploring new subjects, etc. Correct? Now, so a lot of students, when you are reading Constitution, for the first time you are understanding, oh, we had a preamble, we had a fundamental right, oh, we had these articles, even though you studied civics, right, in 10th standard. After that you shifted field to science, let's say. So civics was gone. We only knew that there is president and prime minister. There was a point of time when I thought president and prime minister, they are all same or something like that, So there would be changes that happen. So like that you need to explore. So learning, 80% learning, and revision 20%. Making notes, learning new things, learning new concepts, subject, everything, 80% learning. Don't focus or worry about revision and trying to remember. You can't, and it is not necessary also, because you are going to write prelims next year, May. If you study today and try and remember everything today, you will forget it after December. Is that okay? Same thing with Anthro also. You will be writing next year, October. Right? So learn, understand, make notes, keep everything ready for next year. Everything should be ready for next year. Okay, that happens in the year 2024. You guys are here now. By December, you should finish all the learning, all the notes making, all the textbooks that you have to read. Everything should be done now. If somebody says for polity you read Lakshmikant, that Lakshmikant should be read this year. You don't like Lakshmikant, you want to explore some other book, you read that book this year only. Not next year, just 15 days before the exam. Did you understand? So if you didn't like a book, you don't like a subject, you don't like a teaching or whatever, you change it this year itself. Don't wait for later. So all the learning, whether it is prelims, whether it is GS mains or anthropology, all the learning, notes making, converting that notes into micro notes and revision notes, everything should be done this year. Okay, so at the same time, as I told you, 1 hour, 2 hour, keep revising. Anthro, polity, economy, things like that, you keep revising. But since you don't have much time, dedicate about 20% for revision, meaning just going through, getting yourself reoriented and all of that. So generally from April to October, now you will finish off your anthropology learning part. While learning, you will be writing answers, okay, you will be exploring new concepts, making notes, all that will happen by or till October. Same thing is happening with prelims. Yes, they are teaching you polity. What class is going on? Polity and ancient and medieval and all that. So they are telling you stories, preamble, historical development of constitution, different parts of the constitution, etc. They are telling you, learn it, understand it. Okay, read your Lakshmikant or whatever notes they have told you. Okay, underline, highlight, keep it ready and keep, reading other chapters. So like that, prelims and mains also, learning part should happen now. And at the same time, they've also told you to read newspaper. They've also told you to read magazines. So one newspaper and one magazine you can read, continue reading. Okay, and only class test, focus on class tests. So Anthro also you will have class tests. Okay, other subjects also you might be having class tests, right? So make sure you give those class tests. Again, not to score and focus only on score. What is the objective of these class tests is to get yourself aware as to how questions are asked, how topics are asked, where you need to focus on, what mistakes you are doing and how to correct them. That's all. It's not like I have to get 100 from today only. It's not possible. So by solving these questions, you will get to know how topics are asked, what mistakes and challenges that you are going to face and make those corrections. Some of you might not be able to remember facts. Some of you can remember facts but don't have understanding. So you will get to know what is your problem and then you address it. If you are not able to understand, then get more clarity. If you have understanding but you can't remember points, then you should focus on revision, like that. So you will get to know your problem. All that you do it up to October. By October you will finish anthropology. A large portions of GS also you will finish. So then what happens is from October to January, you can start focusing on revision little bit more. You can start giving anthropology test series, mains test series or prelims test series. So here what will happen is your revision will increase. Okay, revision will become 50% and reading new things, learning will be 50%. So 50% of your time give for revision and the other 50% of your time give for reading new things. This is if you want to clear next year. If you have long-term plan, then it is you can do that over a period of time. But if it is that you want to clear next year, do this. Then February to May, okay, you would have finished one reading of GS mains, one reading of anthropology mains. You close that book, anthropology. Don't open it. Okay, open it after prelims. So from January to May, your focus should be only on prelim. Prelims is also difficult, guys. It's not so easy. Okay, if you are giving it for the first time, you have absolutely no idea how difficult it can get, how challenging it is, and how some small mistakes can cost you an entire 1 year. And you will clear in 2027. See, 2027 is so far, right? All your friends will get married, all your friends would have got promotion, they will start earning money and saving money and start buying cars and bikes, and you will be still giving your prelims. Is that okay? Now it looks very romantic. You have started the course, all your friends and family have high hopes from you. They already might have started making jokes. You're becoming an IAS. Don't forget us. Your first signature is for us. All that jokes you might have heard before you left your house, okay, and came to this class. All that will evaporate after 1 year. Okay, they'll only start asking you what happened. Okay, when are you becoming IAS officer? Okay, so before that you should clear. Is that okay? So for that, prelims again, February to May, revise the prelims. So here 80% revision and 20% learning. Learning means what? The current affairs, that's all. You don't sit and start your Lakshmikant then. Lakshmikant should have been read 3 times when you start revision. When you start revision, you just focus on the underlined words, highlighted points. Okay, it is not that time you try and find new textbooks or make notes or ask your friend, give your notes, I want to Xerox it. Don't do that time. Okay, so February to May, 80% revision of prelims, revision and giving tests. Here you now check your scores, not earlier. Scores you see, but here you start focusing on the scores. If you are getting 60, next test you should get 70. Next test you should get 80. Next you should get 90, like that. So focus on the score and try to increase the score. Okay, so revision. February to May, 80% revision, 20% learning new things. But students do ulta. Now they are in Josh, so they will revise. Every day they will revise and come. Okay. But when it comes to February, some new material will be printed and it will be available in the market, you will go and buy it. Polity 365. Okay. Then economy 120. Okay. Or bullet points for history. You will buy that book. Your notes is there, very good. Everything is there. But you got attracted towards a new notes. Is that okay? You will do that. When you walk in Chandra layout, the bookstall will call you, come, see, new book is there. As soon as you see nice picture, front page, everything is beautiful, you want to buy it. It's attracting, it's calling you, buy me, you want to buy it. Okay, the smell of the book, new book, or the smell of the Xerox, it's attractive. You buy it, you come back, you read 10 pages, then you realize it's the same thing that is there in your notes. You have wasted 3 days because you try to learn new things. No, stick to polity, whatever notes or material you have read, revise it. Stick to the same economy notes or material that you have read in April, October or up to January, you read that. Don't change your book before prelims. 3 to 4 months before prelims, don't change your core subject books. Same thing even after prelims. After prelims, June to September. GS mains notes you would have made. Anthropology notes you would have made. That time don't go and start a new book or start reading. Revise the same thing. So here also June to September, 80% revision, 20% learning. Now why this 20% is current affairs? Because current affairs obviously you can't pre-prepare for it. Matlab few topics, but then there will be continuity. New acts will be enacted. New policies will be there, new developments in international relation will be there. Those things you have to read. So 20% for current affairs relating to GS mains. Here also 20% current affairs relating to GS prelims. But 80% is revision. Monetary policy, fiscal policy, banking, financial institutions, balance of payment in economy. Same thing, revise. Balance of payment is same in one book, will be the same in other book also. Okay, so don't change books and learn new things later on. So this is what you do from June to September. Okay, so September, October, whatever. So after that, interview. Interview may keep current updates, give your mock interviews and start preparing for your next year ka prelims. Just preparing for the worst, hoping for the best. That's how you can do. So 2026, right, you will become a celebrity if you follow these things. Is that okay, guys? So simple. So as I told you what to do when. So now learning. Whatever new books you want to buy, whatever new subject you want to explore, new teacher you want to follow, do it now. After that, it is not necessary. Is that okay? So more revision is the key next year. This year, learning, next year, revision. Is that okay? And one more very important point that I would want to mention is, in this examination, there is no perfection. Don't aspire to become perfect. Have you heard of this word, jugaad? Jugaad is what works in this examination. If you are a topper, 90%, especially for them, I am telling you, you can't be perfect. You can't complete the syllabus. You can't remember everything. what is important, what is easy to score, what is necessary for you to score, that you remember, not everything. If you learn that, what I understand, what I told you, you will be, able to add to your first attempt strategy. Don't have to be perfect. Even in administration, you will never be perfect. There will be no perfect situation. There will be no ideal condition. There will be no, infinite resources. With limited resource, jugaad you have to do. Is that okay? Now elections is being conducted or the process is happening. You think there is enough resource? The officers who are in charge of elections, they are doing jugaad only. They are taking resource from somewhere, putting it there, then tomorrow when it comes, they will put it back. Okay, they don't have cars, they are borrowing it from somebody. All that jugaad they have to do. That you have to learn now only to clear the exam. Jugaad works. Okay, so therefore make sure that you, have that in mind also. What is necessary from the exam point of view, know that. Don't have to be experts. Okay, so that is the strategy. All of you understood this, guys? Okay. Right, so some textbooks. So I have shared welcome document with you guys on the Telegram group. Those who have not joined, make sure you join it. Ask in the office or your friends and join the group. I have shared the welcome document, how the classes will be, how we will progress, what topics we will cover, all that I have mentioned, what handouts that I will be giving you in the class, when I will be giving you all that, everything is mentioned in the handout. The first welcome document contains everything. It will be very structured. It's not going to be like surprise for you and me also. It's all very structured. When I will be giving handout for what topics, everything is mentioned in that. There are few textbooks names also which is there. I am just putting this picture over here, but the names of the textbooks etc. is there in the welcome document if you want to buy. Okay, if you have the resource, buy it and keep it. Just feels nice that you are doing something big, when you look at those books and all of that. But otherwise, for the class as such, not necessary. All right. Then before that, also some things which you should avoid in anthropology. One is reading guidebooks initially. Reading guidebooks initially. Meaning there are several, if you go to bookstall and when you read, when you see or when you ask them, they will prescribe you certain books which will be in question answer form. Okay, they are not good. Is that okay? They have been prepared, even though toppers' names are mentioned in the front page, they are not prepared by them. Somebody else prepares and it is endorsed by them. They are not of good quality. They don't give you clarity. Okay, so please avoid these guidebooks. Is that okay? Because especially in today's examination scenario where they are asking you more conceptual questions and it is a competitive examination, you need to have clarity. And that will not come by reading guidebooks. Instead, you can buy the standard books and read it. Okay, get standard ideas, but not guidebooks initially. Maybe later for some case studies example, you can take it, but not now. Please avoid it. It looks very easy. Okay, it feels comfortable, but it's not good. Okay, it feels comfortable, like guidebooks when we used to read in PUC or something like that, but not here. It doesn't work. Okay, please avoid that. It will be misguided saying that it is by toppers etc. But don't fall for that. Is that okay? Next, hoarding of materials and journals. Okay, don't get carried away by lot of materials. Now you will go. Okay, I am full joshed up this year. Learning I will do and go to shop and buy all anthropology book. Don't do that. Is that okay? Simply waste of money. Alright, later you will just have to sell it to the Raddiwala and get money, that's all. Okay, so don't get this one. See, information, there is limited memory in your mind to store information. So you use it effectively. So many subjects, polity, economy, what ancient history, medieval, so much facts you have to remember. Okay, so make sure you read what is essential only. Okay, especially when you are studying in an environment like here, Chandra layout or in Delhi, etc. You have access to a lot of materials. Everything looks attractive. Okay, every material looks attractive. You want it. Okay, you feel that you are losing out. FOMO. okay, feeling of losing out something. Okay, so make sure that you don't get stuck by that. Okay, so don't hold material, don't get obsessed with case studies. There will be a lot of case studies that I will be giving you. Okay, enough for you to get good marks. Okay, what you can remember you should make note of. Okay, and then don't complicate your preparation, keep it simple. Okay, multiple sources, okay, other things, don't do all of that, keep it very simple. Sometimes simple works. Yes, so this is the Telegram group. Okay, so why I just put it up is because again a lot of people will ask where is the material. That's this. If you go to the group settings, you will find files and you will find links. So in files, see, I have already shared the initial handouts. So you have the welcome document. Okay, please read that. It has the syllabus, etc. If you didn't read it before. Okay, then the first handout contains previous year questions, topic wise. So topic wise they are arranged. Okay, just keep it. You don't have to read it now only. So when we do each section or topic, you can see the previous year question and try and attempt it and give it to me to evaluation. Is that okay? Also, last year's ka previous year question method, last year's is there with solution. Okay, with solution, what I have made. Okay, just for you to understand later point of time. So previous year questions from almost 20 years it is there. Okay, including last year's. Everything is there. You don't have to buy any separate book or anything. Everything is there. So previous year question papers, you will find it now. Like this same way handouts I will be sharing. In case if you miss it, just go to the file section and all the handouts will be there in the file section. Even if you miss it, take a printout and put it to your notes. Is that okay? Right. So some keywords that you need to keep in mind with respect to your preparation, anthropology or any other general studies. Okay, if you want to clear this examination, one is consistency. Again, look around in GS also, you would have seen large number of people attending in the beginning, but what will happen is they will lose track, lose consistency, okay, and then they lose out as a whole. Okay, so make sure that you maintain this energy throughout. Okay, don't have to increase it all of a sudden, maintain it sustainable way. Okay, so consistency is the key. Attending classes regularly and covering it in 100 classes, writing just one question every day or 3 questions every week, something like that. If you can't manage one question every day, I understand it becomes too difficult. 9 hours class, you just want to go and fall on your bed and lie down. A lot of people are now also dreaming of that, I understand. Okay, but that's the reality. That's how human capacity is there. We are trained to do that. This will come over a period of time. Today you can study only for 6-7 hours. Train your body to increase it consistently. It can't be like today I will read for 12 hours, tomorrow gone, fever, everything, hospital, IV drips, everything. Don't do that. Gradually you can increase, but consistency is the key. Keep a target for yourself. Understand what is your ability. Okay, 2 questions every week, enough. 2 questions every week for the next 30 weeks means 60 questions. You would have finished 5 years papers. That's all. 2 questions per week. Can you do that? Ask yourself. If yes, do that. Or 1 question every week, enough. What will happen is tomorrow only students will come with 3-4 questions. After that, pattane irala. They'll go missing in action, MIA. Or killed in action, I don't know. Okay, so that will happen. Don't do that. Sustain your energy. It's a long, 2026. You have to survive. If everything goes well, if your luck is good, if your karma is good, if you have done good dharma in your life, okay, then 2026 you may see success. But don't worry, see, life is like that only. Nothing comes off all of a sudden. Okay, even this also, you should understand that. Now you all finished your graduation, etc. Graduation and all is very easy. You write exam, you will clear, your friend also will clear. Here it's not like that. It's a competitive examination. Just 1,000 people will be happy. Like day before when the results came, only 1,000 people are happy, 1,040 or something. Lakhs of students were sad. Another lakh of students had burning in their stomach. Not just sadness or happy, burning. So all that will happen. So make sure you realize this fact. For that, the consistency is the key. Whatever you do, attending classes, writing answers, solving question papers, put a timetable and continue to do that. Okay, then simple and effective. Okay, sometimes covering simple subjects which scores better is a better strategy than tackling some very difficult topic which will never be asked or you'll never be able to remember. Is that okay? What is the human tendency or Indian mindset? Indian mindset, I'm not talking about Western. Indian mindset is what we have been taught about in our Indian society is kashtapadbeku. Work hard. Correct? No, all our life, unfortunately, our Indian social system is such that we have to work hard. Only then we will get moksha. Correct? No, all your school days also, your teachers told you, they were wrong actually. In civil services, that is not important. Working hard is not the only thing that is important. Working your smart work, simple and effective. That is, you have to unlearn it. I have understood that after coming here. Okay. Even today in our, capitalized world, capitalized society, hard work is not, hard work who does? Laborers do. Okay, they will be sweeping the road from morning to evening. And how much do they earn? 500 rupees per day. Smart people will go to 5-star hotel, 1 hour, they will do some agreement or contract with somebody and make somebody else work and make money. Same thing, life is like that. Hard work, they used to tell in school, it is wrong. I am telling you openly now as a teacher, they were wrong. Because today in this age and era, it is not just hard work that is important, or without hard work also people get success is through smart work. Work is important, but smart work. Where you are going to put your resources. What is your resource? Time. Where you are going to put that time is important. Keep it simple, but yet effective. This you have to remember. Effectively you have to utilize. See, for example, now you're saying art and culture is doing. Please don't go and complain to your teachers, but just as an example I am taking. Okay, with due respect to all of them. Now polity, his class polity, yours is art and culture. Okay, art and culture would require 30 days of preparation. Polity also would require 30 days. Art would require more actually, but anyways. But polity will give you 15 marks. Art and culture will give you 5 marks. 5 questions, sorry. Okay. So which one would you have to prefer? Don't miss the class, okay? I'm just trying to give you an example. Then next day, I mean, if they complain saying that nobody came for art and culture class, so I'm just giving you an example. Now learning is okay, but what will you focus on? Polity. Because polity will not just give you 10 questions, but also will help you in current affairs, to understand certain current affairs better. In GS, polity, governance, important. It's important from ethics point of view, good governance, etc. It's important from essay point of view, interview. Art and culture, where will you use? Right? As an example, I am telling you, like I have cleared prelims, all the attempts that I have given, but without, I don't even know what is there in art and culture. Is that okay? Because I have sacrificed that 10 question, I don't know, I can't remember. So I said, okay, I won't do it. So I wrote for 90 questions. Out of 100, I assumed that I will be writing only for 90. And made sure all the other 90 I am good at. The same 30 days I used for revising polity, economy and other things. As an example, see please, that could be, your strategy could be different. You may be good in art and culture, no, I am good in history, good. Then you can neglect something else. Some may be bad in science, or you are not able to understand. What is this space tech, satellite, how will it go? If you are that kind of person, you can sacrifice science also. 10 questions, 15 questions will come. Write for 85 marks, 85 questions. Simple and effective. Where is the resources? What is the strengths? What is your weakness? And where is it that if you put your resource, you will get more marks? Everywhere we do such calculative decisions. In exam, why don't you do it? Correct, no? Right, now Virat Kohli is don't look at the RCB's performance, but otherwise Virat Kohli is good in what? Batting. He may be, he's also good in bowling also, no? Okay, anyways. So he's a better batsman. So he should practice more on batting. Just because he is good in batting, from tomorrow if he starts only bowling, what will happen to his batting? Correct? No, that's what it is. That's what we end up doing. But smart people, those who succeed, they know what to do. They don't go for bowling. Kohli will not go for bowling every day. 20% he might spend on bowling, 80% he will still strengthen his batting, isn't it? Just because he is good in batting, what is sleeping every day? No. Every day morning he will come and practice batting. About 100 balls he will practice every day, net practice. Yes or no? Do you agree with that? Same thing you also have to do. What is your strength? Are you good in polity? Strengthen that. Even in Anthro it's like that. There are 5 sections. Okay. Your socio-cultural, archaeological, Indian, tribal, biological. All 5 need not be given equal importance by you guys. We will give equal importance, but you should find out which you are good at. That you should prioritize. Now I will tell you, biological anthropology, less syllabus, but more scoring. Focus on that. If you can, you do that. You say, no, I'm not so good in biological, I'm good in socio-cultural, focus on that. You understood. Because again, in there also there is options and all of that will come into picture. So, simple, effective strategy. And have a plan. Structure your preparation. See, even in class, I cannot come and I'm like, okay, what shall I do today? What are we doing? Anthro? Okay, what shall I? If I come like that, our class also will not be effective. Same way, you guys also have to plan. Have a weekly target. Okay, in week, every day what you are going to do. Monthly target, especially next year. This year, though, 9 hours is gone. Whether you like it or not, you come for class, go for class, it's over. The institute only will give you the timetable. Anthro, I only will give you the timetable. But next year will be the problem. You would have finished all your class. Okay, and then you have to do self-study. So that time, morning you will get up, what to do today? Okay, should I do polity? Polity I studied now only. Let me do history. So it will be a lot of such problems you will face. But if you have a timetable, that this week I have to complete these things. So have a plan and timetable and structure your preparation. And prioritize and optimize. Usually again our Indian mindset, unfortunately, tells us first tackle the difficult ones. Correct, no? We have always been taught first kashta, the first difficult ones you address it. That's not the right strategy. Which is scoring, which is easy, which is your strength, finish off that. 80% will be over by that. That last 20% difficult one, no, will take several months. If you start with that, no, by the time you finish that, it will be 4 months. Then panic will set in. Then the easy ones also will become difficult. So finish off the easy ones. The human psychology and Indian mindset is finish off the difficult. The 2-3 days back, I got a call from a student saying that this is my strategy. I find it difficult. Now prelims have been postponed. So I will do this 20 days ke liye, I will do this difficult subject because I had not done it before. I said, okay, 20 days you will do it. You will become expert in that. After 30 days when you have to give your prelims, will you revise it? No, I will do it only for, then what's the point? You will never remember it. If you don't revise, you will never remember it. Then why waste that 20 days? Instead, don't study, go on a vacation and come back. At least you will get energy. Okay, like that. So, effective time management is important. And lastly, regular self-assessment. Okay, keep yourself assessing. Okay, how you are performing, what mistakes you are doing, what is your weakness, and keep correcting. Learn to do that. Okay, this was not lastly, this was the lastly. Okay, so the lastly, make sure you focus on your health. Is that okay? Physical as well as your mental health. Keep yourself motivated. Okay, it's not just for the first day. Throughout your journey, because till 2026 or 27, whenever it is, you have to keep yourself healthy physically and mentally. This examination is very cruel. I know it from my personal success and failure, that UPSC or civil services examination is the most cruel examination, meaning it takes away your physical and mental health if you don't take care of it. Is that okay? You are young, okay, you are still physically very active, okay, but if you don't take care of it, another year or 2 years, okay, all that is going to be gone. It will disappear. Mentally, depressions will start happening. Fear, okay, you will start questioning your own, self. all that problems will start developing. Okay, if you are a topper, UPSC will show you, that it's not like that. Things will change. Physically also, you might be able to run up and climb the 2 floors. Okay, after 1 year, 2 years, you would require lift, or you climb and then you need to relax for some time. So make sure you focus on your health. Give about half an hour of your time, okay, for health. Okay, do something which you love to keep your mental health stable. Okay, do some exercise, basic, walking. If you are, walking from your PG, make sure you do that regularly, or go to the parks, get some clean air. Not in the afternoon, it's too hot now. Okay, at least in the early morning or late in the evening. So keep yourself active like that. Mentally also, keep your support system close to you. Don't get away from that. Don't like, oh, I have to study, I will lock my room, not talk to anybody for 2 years. I will come out only as an IAS officer, I promise you. And you will ring the bell and you'll go. All that. Don't do all that. Your support system, your parents, your friends, your siblings, if you are married, husband, wife, they are very important. Friends are important. Don't get disconnected from them. Is that okay? It is not something which you can do if you want to sustain for 2 to 3 years. For 2 months, okay, you can do that. Before prelims, you can do that. Before mains, you can do that, but not throughout. Not, don't have toxic friendship. Okay, have good friendship. Whoever is going to help you, or you can have a nice time together, maintain that kind of friendship. Don't be obligated. If some auntie is torturing you, don't talk to that person. Okay. If some friend is torturing you, don't keep in touch with that. Is that okay? Very important, I'm telling you guys, you are all young. Okay, so you need to make sure that you have that support. Even when you make new friends, make sure you make new friends who will motivate you and you can motivate them back. Okay, don't make friends, of benefit kind of a thing. It should be making sure that you have mutual give and take, and helping each other, intelligent. Make friends who are above you in the sense intelligent, so that you can move up like that. Don't be charitable. Don't like, my project is I will take this person and lift this, all that, don't do that. Okay, make friends who are of your caliber or above. Is that okay? Because this is a very competitive examination. Nobody will come to your rescue. Very cruel this exam is. Your friends will clear, you don't clear, that's the problem. So make sure you be self-centered, in the sense be ethical, happy, physically fit. Okay, take care of yourself. Okay, so this is what is expected out of you. Okay, in this particular examination. Anyway, so this was completely about the strategy and all of that. Is that understood, guys? Okay, keep it simple. Enjoy this whole process also. It's not that, even though I told you UPSC is cruel and all of that, okay, but enjoy the process also. Because if you enjoy and clear this exam as a happy person, you will serve the society. If you clear this exam as an unhappy person, you will be a burden on the society. See, the people who are unhappy and they clear and stressed out, egoistic, angry with everything, they are the ones who become corrupt. They are the ones who lack empathy. When you go to their office, they will, hey, go stand outside, I am busy. Why do they do that? Because they are unhappy. Even though they have cleared, they are unhappy souls. But there are so many other people who have not cleared, but they have happily come out of it. Married, enjoyed, now their husband, wife, they were in Chandra layout, they married, husband and wife now is traveling around the world, contributing, doing social service, so happy they are. Everybody, so much friendship, so much joy, even without clearing UPSC. So happiness is ultimately the most important thing. If you pass without clearing, see why India has corruption. If they were happy, they would not be corrupt. Even IAS officers are corrupt. Why? Because they are unhappy soul. They are not happy in their life. Even if they get IAS, they are not happy with the cadre. With the state they have got. With the state, they are not happy with the postings they have got. With the postings, they are not happy with the responsibility that they have. With the responsibility, they are not happy with the subordinates. They will never be happy in their life. They are a burden to the society. Don't be a burden to the society. Okay, so be happy so that there will be that energy to do good things to the society. and life will be beautiful no matter what. Okay, if you have that kind of mindset. I'm an example for that. Okay, even if you don't clear, but if you have that perspective of life, okay, that you need to do something to people, you can be happy, you can enjoy, you can earn money, that's a secondary thing, you can earn money doing lot of things. Okay, but if you want to serve, be a part of the society, be a valuable member of an institutions or organization or society, you need to have these kind of character. So enjoy the process, guys. Anthropology, I can guarantee you will enjoy, but other things also you should enjoy. Have a smile in your face. Yes, so that smile now is very what do you say, it spreads a lot. If I smile, you smile, you smile, I smile, we smile, all of us are smiling. We'll enjoy the class, we enjoy the process. It should not be a burden to you, also me. If you are not smiling, I'll be like, oh my god, morning class I have to take. So I'll be also worked up like that. If you are smiling, enjoying, I'll be like, shit, when is tomorrow's class? I have to go, I have to prepare, let me do something more, let me make it innovative. So it is contagious. Sadness also is contagious. You come, like, oh, I'll be like, oh my god, what is this morning class? Then I'll call and tell morning class, next time I'm not taking. Okay, so don't do that for me also. Have mercy on me. Okay, so come, it may be early morning class, may be little bit difficult. 7 o'clock is not that early. Okay, I get up little 5:30 and study and come. So for me it may be little early. But you guys 6:30 or you can get up and come and attend the class. Okay, it's not that difficult. It's in your mind. Okay, go to sleep little early. Don't sit and see Instagram of your friend who is traveling across the world. Don't do all of that. Sleep nicely. Okay, so that you can get up early at around 6 o'clock. 6:30 you can have some light snacks or tea, coffee, walk and come and then attend the class. Is that okay? Can we do that? Okay, if you do that, I can promise you a very enjoyable class. We'll go nicely, not in too much pace or all that. We'll make sure everybody is comfortable. Is that okay? Can I expect that from you guys? If you are smiling, I keep smiling all the time, so you can expect that also. Is that okay? Fine. And you can be less assured that any kind of help you need, I'm always there. Till you clear the exam, even after you clear, I'll be there. Maybe you should just respond back. Is that okay? Fine. So that much I can guarantee you that. Because see, this is my job. This is what I have chosen. I like it. Okay. So the more people who come and meet me, interact, ask me relevant doubts, I'll be more excited. It gives me purpose in my life also. So therefore, it's not something which I'm going to hide. So you're always welcome to ask doubts on preparation, strategy, health, mental health especially. Okay. And on anthropology, obviously. All right. So we'll start with anthropology then. Any doubt? Okay. Any doubt? So a few days you'll get used to the hours. 3 hours continuously you'll get used to it. Because see, when we discuss, understand, write, there is a mix of all of this. You'll get used to it. Is that okay? It's difficult for me to speak 3 hours. It's easy for you guys. Don't worry. Is that okay? Any doubt? Shall we start? Online students, any doubt? Naveen Kumar, these are demo classes. The classes will not be there on YouTube. Class notes will be question answer format. No, they'll be topic wise. Okay, you'll get to know now how we do it. Any doubt, guys? Should have little bit doubt also. No doubt. Crystal clear. You understood because it was crystal clear, or you understood because you didn't understand anything? What is it? Okay. Anyway, see, over a period of time, whatever issues, etc., you have, write it down. You can ask after the class also. Okay. So how will we do the classes? So I will explain a topic. Okay. You don't have to write when I am explaining. Then I will dictate the notes. You can write down the notes. Okay. If you have any doubts, you can ask. As we progress, I will try to give questions in between. You can attempt those questions and give it to me. Online students, you can give it to me on Telegram, online students. So Telegram ID is there, okay, mentioned in the welcome document. Okay, you can correspond with me through Telegram. If you are shy to ask doubts in the class, you can ask it in the Telegram group. If it is relevant, I will tell it in the class. If it is not, I will message you. Okay, so all that can happen. Yeah, those who stay outside, if you need to talk to me through Telegram, we can have a call also. Okay, so that's what we'll do. All of you have a 200 pages notes for the first section. So we'll start with socio-cultural anthropology today. Okay, have one notes on socio-cultural anthropology, one more notes on Indian anthropology, 200 pages, one more notes, 200 pages on tribal anthropology. So like that, have notes, okay, for each of them. Then biological anthropology, you will have to buy a textbook, okay, of mine. We'll do it from that. There will be no dictated notes. For archaeological anthropology, physical anthropology, I will be giving workbooks. You can print it and you will be writing in that itself. Okay, because it has a lot of pictures to give you more clarity. Okay, so that's how we will progress. So 3 notebooks, 3 workbooks, 1 textbook is what is required for your preparation. Okay, but otherwise I think in the introduction class I might have all told you what is anthropology and all of that. So quickly we'll go through that and then we'll discuss the first topic, that is meaning, scope and development of anthropology, and then we will start with socio-cultural anthropology. Don't have to worry about the syllabus right now. Okay, as we cover certain topics, you will get to know at the end we would have covered the entire syllabus. Then you will get the clarity of what we are doing. Okay, today only don't say this is not done, that is not, it will be done. There is a flow to my class for better understanding. Is that okay? So at the end of our discussion, or we finish a section or the subject, the entire syllabus will be covered. You can be less assured. Okay, so that's what we can expect. So today's introduction topic, that is the first one, meaning, scope and development of anthropology, and then we will start with socio-cultural anthropology. Right. So as we discussed in our the orientation class, what is anthropology? Okay, anthropology, if we try to split the words, anthropos and logi. Okay, so it's derived from the Greek word. So etymologically, we can say anthropology, anthropos means mankind, mankind, and logi means the study. So it is a study of mankind. Everything about mankind, everything about humans are studied by anthropologists. Nothing is outside the scope of anthropology. We study anything that is to do with humans. Okay, whether it is their culture or society, whether it is their biological aspects, whether it is their linguistics, whether it is their past, whether it is their present, or the changes that is going to happen in the future. Everything of mankind is studied in anthropology. So the scope is quite vast. When I say vast, everything that is under this sun can be studied, because something has to do with ourself. Like you have ecological anthropology, where we are trying to study how humans interact with the environment. Okay, we have linguistic anthropology, where we study how people communicate, verbal, non-verbal. Sorry. Hello. Yeah, so anthropology is the scientific study of mankind. All right. So there are various definitions given by various anthropologists. So when you are writing an answer, other than this definition, you might have to quote some anthropologist and their definition. Again, if I put a list over here, and if I can, just Google the definition of anthropologist by different anthropologists, you'll get a list. So you don't have to remember everything. Whichever you feel comfortable, one definition you can remember. Okay, we'll come to that later. So basically, anthropology studies every aspect of humankind. Again, I am repeating. So in every part of the world, okay, in every part of the world, whether it is past or whether it is present. So the idea is to understand what is universal. When we say universal, something which is applicable throughout the world with no exception. For example, family as an institution is universal. Every society is seen to have family. Is that okay? So family as an institution is universal. Okay. Then we try and understand what is general, meaning most of the societies have it, not everybody. Those are called as general, which we can generally apply to human beings. And then there are few which are very specific to a particular society. So by studying human society, human beings, we try and understand what is universally applicable, what is general, what is specific to humans. Okay, so that is a scientific study of mankind. Whether it is your culture, whether it is biology, whether it is society, everything about it can be studied under anthropology. Now, so this word anthropology is synonymous with another term which is called as ethnology. Rather, ethnology was the earlier term for anthropology. Okay, today we call it as anthropology, but earlier this word anthropology was not used. Instead, it was called as ethnology. Again, ethnology, if we divide it, ethno plus logy. So ethno means culture, ethno means folk, ethno means way of life. It can be anything. Again, Greek word. Ethnos meaning folk. Ethnicity, all of you might have heard, no? Ethnicity. Okay, to do with our culture, way of life. So what is ethnology? The study of people's folk, people's culture, or people's way of life. That's how it started initially. See, when Europeans, after European Renaissance, when they started to travel, or when they started to, go and colonize, they came across newer cultures. These cultures exposed them to new people and their way of life. So what did they do? They started to make note of all these culture. Okay, so that led to the emergence of a subject called as ethnology. So when the Britishers landed in India, they came across new culture. When they landed in Africa, they came across new culture. When they landed in Australia, they came across new culture. What did they do? They studied these culture. They made a note of these culture. Okay, so that study is called as ethnology. Study of people's way of life. Okay. So again, ethnology is science of people, their culture and life history as a group. That was defined by Kroeber. So here what did they do when Europeans when they came to India? They read about, they made a note of Indian culture and they compared it with whom? Their own culture. So ethnology is more comparative, meaning what? They compared their culture with our culture. It was comparative and analytical. They analyzed why are they like this? Why are we like this? Okay, it was comparative study. And main objective was to generate theories. to explain people's behavior. What is culture? What do you mean by culture? If you generally apply your mind, culture means the way people behave. My language, my dressing, okay, my food habits, etc. These are culture. That means it is the people's behavior. So by studying people's behavior, people's action, okay, we want to understand the science behind why people do that. Why do I eat non-veg? Why do I eat veg? Why don't I eat cow? Why don't I eat pig? People want to analyze it and come up with theories. Why do people marry more than one person? Or why people marry only one person? Why is there multiple husband or multiple wife? They wanted to understand, because suddenly when they came to a new society, they were exposed to it and they were intrigued. At that time there was no Instagram and Facebook, so they didn't have any other thing to do than to analyze. They sat and analyzed, okay, why are these guys like this? So scientific studying of a particular culture and coming up with what? Theories to explain what? People's behavior. This all started after European Renaissance, when Europeans decided to travel outside their country, and when they landed in new territories in Africa, in Asia, and all of a sudden these elite Europeans who were enjoying their life suddenly were exposed to new cultures. They started to write about it. They wrote books about it. They wrote about their travel experience, and they said, I went there, I saw this tribal, they were worshipping this particular stone, and this stone was giving them power, and they used that to go and fight a war. Before going that, they did this. Okay, so they started to compare their culture with theirs. Okay, and then started to build theories as to why it is there, etc. For example, let me just give you one example, like Tyler, one of the early anthropologists. He did not travel, but his friends traveled across the world and they wrote back to him. Back then they used to write letters. They wrote about their travel expedition. Macha, I went here. I went to this particular place. Macha, they were all studying, they were all, worshipping a tree. My God. So he made a documentation of it. In this particular place, they worship tree. Then one more friend went there, somewhere else. Okay, Macha, I went there. They worship a dog. Okay, then he make a note. Okay, they worship a dog. Then one more of his friend, he went to Australia. There they worshipped ancestors. He made a note of it. Then after all of that, he started to build a theory, saying that, okay, religion, how is it different? Why is it different? So he came up with an evolutionary theory. For example, I'm just giving you an example. We'll do it later. Evolution of religion. Tyler. He came up with evolution of religion. Again, now you can ask, why evolution? Why not some other theory? Because at that time, there was another theory in science which was being talked about. Okay, called as Darwin's principle of evolution. Have you heard of this in school? Darwin's principle. What does Darwin's principle say? Survival of the fittest. So through survival of the fittest, who is going to survive? Those who have taken anthropology as optional. They will survive. So they will evolve. Those who survive will clear the exam and they will evolve and progress. Correct, no? So that is the theory of Darwin's. I'll repeat again. Those who don't know Darwin's, basically the theory of survival of the fittest. Those who survive, those who are fit will survive. Those who are unfit will get eliminated. Those who took anthropology will survive. Those who survive will progress. Those who did not survive, or those who are not fit, they will not survive and they will get eliminated. They will disappear. For example, humans, okay, they were better fit than other species. So humans survived and humans progressed. That was Darwin's theory. That also was happening during European Renaissance. So he tried to apply Darwin's theory to study of religion. Did you understand this? How it all happened? There is a story behind all of that. So Tyler was sitting, okay, so he decided that let me also come up with a theory of evolution to religion. So he said that first religion was animism, then was polytheism, then was monotheism. What is monotheism? What is polytheism? Plurality of gods. Yes, for prelims one god, for mains one god, for interview one god, for marriage one god. Correct? No, that is polytheism. Monotheism, one single, all powerful deity. That is monotheism. Okay. Now what is animism? Animism is belief in anima. Anima means soul. Soul. Do you know what is soul? Yes, soul. What do you tell in other language? Kannada, English? Atma. Yes. Atma. Belief in Atma. Okay, so he said people who worshipped Atma were the first people. Then belief in polytheism were the second people. Then third was belief in monotheism. Now why did he come up with that, you should ask. Right, so he should come up with a story also, no? Why he is telling, somebody came, hey, oh, hey, Macha, why is it like this? Why are you saying animism, polytheism, monotheism, and why not monotheism is the earliest? It was asked later. So he has to come up with an evolutionary theory. So he considered animism as the most simplest religion. Animism as the simplest religion. And he comes up with a story also. At that time, everybody were romantic. Romantic books were being written. Everything was romanticism. Today it is all gone. Today everybody is in their social media. Okay, don't want to talk to anybody. But back then, everything, even when you write science, they wrote it romantically. Okay, so he came up with a romantic story to explain why he believed that society evolved from animism to polytheism to monotheism. So he says the most primitive men, primitive people, they did not know life and death. Is that okay? They did not know what led to birth, what led to death. They didn't know that. Somebody who used logic started to think. Somebody when they dies, okay, but yet they can be seen in your dreams, yes or no? Somebody who died recently or in the past. Can you see them in your dreams? Yes, don't get scared, but you do get to see them in their dreams. Now you know what is dream. Dream is a neurological process in your brain that recollects the information. Now you know it. But primitive men back then did not know what is dream. He suddenly got scared. This person is dead and I am seeing him in my dreams. So he thought that this person, after death, his body disappeared, but he had something within him which is still alive. What is that something? So he thought that must be soul. So he started to think that humans have two things, one body and one soul. Body is perishable, soul is permanent. Is that okay? So once a person dies, his soul is, Atma is everywhere, comes into you, everybody else. Okay, so soul is very powerful, unlike a body. Body is perishable, body can't move. Okay, like the way soul moves. Soul is powerful because it can come into you, him, her, everybody. So which is more powerful? Soul. Soul can do things. So therefore, what should be worshipped? Soul should be worshipped. This is because of his ignorance. Primitive man, ignorant. So he said soul worship. Is that okay? So soul worship or animism had other dimension of it. He believed that the soul will go into a particular object and that object needs to be worshipped, giving rise to what? Polytheism. Next stage. So the next stage, what did he believe? The soul will go and occupy a particular object. Is that okay? So dog's soul went and occupied this. Cow's soul went and occupied. So we worship that. Giving rise to what? Polytheism. The next stage of religious development. Then he said that man, as he progressed, started to think and he started to realize how can there be multiple gods for the same thing. So he combined all the gods into one single God, giving rise to monotheism. Is that okay? So therefore monotheism is the most advanced progressive religion. Which is the earliest? What is the next? How it progressed? You understood? Like how humans progressed, how species progressed, religion also progressed is what he is telling. Okay, but it's criticized because what is how what on what scientific basis are you telling this? So later people have criticized it. And another reason why he was criticized is because his religion was monotheism. So therefore he considered it to be the most superior religion. White man's burden, they say, no, this only. Tyler and all justified colonialism because of his theory. See, are you able to connect the dots? So he said people who practice animism, people who practice polytheism are primitive, are backward. People who practiced are advanced, civilized. So whose burden it is to civilize people? Papa, they are still practicing animism. Let's lift them and bring them to the civilized world. So anthropology was a tool by colonialists to justify colonialism, to exploit the Asians and African people. That's how it started, unfortunately. Anthropology. Okay, it started as what? Ethnology. What is ethnology? Study of folk, culture, way of life, behavior of people. How did it all start? Colonization, exploration, travelers from Europe who came and explored. See, they started to build the theory. First theory in anthropology, therefore, is this theory of evolution. Not only religion, everything else also they have studied through evolution. They studied how marriage evolved. They studied how family evolved. Is that okay? Everything. We'll come to that later. Is that okay? So they have explained. So when we talk about marriage, we talk about this. Kinship terms that is there which we use. Auntie, uncle we use, no? That also they have studied through evolutionary point of view, which gets interesting. Did you understand? See, you don't have to know it completely right now. So they say it evolved in these stages. So as an example, so what did they do? What was the aim? To bring science to the study of anthropology. Is that okay? So they wanted to generate theories and insight into human culture that can be applied across various contexts. Evolution is one such theory. Is that okay? So ethnology. So we'll just write down so much till I have my tea, then we can continue. Okay, so give the heading anthropology. Introduction. So online students, it's not streaming live on your portal is because it's live on YouTube. Today's class will be like that. So this is just a demo class for everybody. When it is not on YouTube, it will be live streamed on your portal. So today's class will be from YouTube. So I think later they will download it and upload it in the portal for recorded classes. But this will be live only on YouTube. I mean, when we don't do it on YouTube, it will be in your. Is that okay, online students? For today and I think tomorrow also, you can watch it on YouTube. If you miss it also, it is there on YouTube. Alright, so give the heading Anthropology, Introduction, Definition and all of that. Okay. It is derived from the Greek word. It is derived from the Greek word anthropos, meaning humankind. Anthropos, meaning humankind. And logos. And logos, meaning field of study. Meaning field of study or science. Or science. Next line, thus etymologically, thus etymologically, anthropology is science of, anthropology is the science of humankind, the science of humankind. Next line, anthropology is a social science. Anthropology is a social science which studies mankind, which studies mankind in its entirety, in its entirety. Next line, anything about humans, anything about humans can be studied from an anthropological perspective, from an anthropological perspective. Full stop. It studies all aspects, it studies all aspects of humankind in all places, in all places, at all times, at all times. Full stop. All aspect includes, all aspect includes biology, culture and society, and society. That is, it studies humankind in totality. Next paragraph, thus anthropology is study of all aspect of humankind, all aspect of humankind at all levels of development, at all levels of development, in any and every part of the world, in any and every part of the world, both present and past, both present and past. So this is something which is can be considered as a definition, but I am sure something like this you can write on your own at later point of time. It might look some technical or whatever, but it's not that. Later these and all will become very easy. You can write on your own. Okay. Anyways, you can write these definitions. Okay. At least two you can write down. You can choose, or you write all four. But later you decide to remember any one. Is that okay? Just to add value to your answer. See, according to E.B. Tyler, what I just mentioned, Tyler, evolutionist, as I told you, like that. So E.B. Tyler, in his book Anthropology, an introduction to study of man and civilization. So I told you, you need to remember certain facts and data. This is an example. You can write a generic definition like what we have written now. Let's say your friend writes this definition, right? It's going to be comparative, right? Your friend is going to get maybe 1/4 marks extra, like that. So we have to try and grab as many marks as possible. But you don't focus on this today. Today you just understand it. Before the exam, 2 months before the exam, you will sit and by heart one of the definition. If you do it now, you will anyways forget it. Are you getting the picture? See, now you have understood what is anthropology. That much is enough for me in this class. Then you should know that there is some definition given by some anthropologist which I have to by heart before my exam. That you should be aware, and you will by heart it before your exam when you revise. Don't focus on this today. It's okay to forget it. Okay, write down. E.B. Tyler in his book Anthropology, an Introduction to Study of Man and Civilization. See, E.B. Tyler is somebody new we are introducing for now, but he will be your friend throughout the journey in anthropology, right? So it will not be difficult for you to remember. So there are like some 10-15 names which may look new today, but later it becomes easy. His book Anthropology, an Introduction to Study of Man and Civilization, 1881. All these are value addition. Only if you know the first understanding, you add these things. Okay? So, study of old remains of people and physical features, race, language, customs and practice of primitive people. That's what he says. Kroeber says science of a group of men and their behavior and production. Okay, science of people, their behavior, that is culture and all of that, and their activity, what they produce. Hershkovitz, anthropology is defined as the measurement of human being. Jacobs and Stern, anthropology is the scientific study of physical, cultural and social development and behavior of human being since their appearance on this earth. Any of these definitions you can remember. If anything needs to be explained, please let me know, but I think it's all self-explanatory. This on. Done? Okay. You can write down next paragraph. It aims to understand. It aims to understand what is dash next line. One universal dash found in all society. Next line. Second general dash occurs in many society, occurs in many society, but not all. Third, specific. Next line, with respect to socio-cultural, with respect to socio-cultural and biological aspect of humankind, biological aspect of humankind. Okay, give the subheading ethnology, give the subheading ethnology. You can write down in points, you can write down in points. Till about the first quarter, till about first quarter of 20th century, of 20th century, the term socio-cultural anthropology, the term socio-cultural anthropology was not popular, was not popular. Rather, ethnology was used, ethnology was used in describing, was used to describe, sorry, was used to describe cultural studies, cultural studies. Next point. Ethnology was derived, is derived from, ethnology is ethnology is derived from Greek word, Greek word dash ethnos, ethnos, ethnos in quotes, ethnos meaning folk, ethnos meaning folk or people or nation, meaning folk or people or nation, full stop. And logi is study, logi means study. Thus ethnology is the science, thus ethnology is the science of people, of people, their culture, their culture, and life history, and life history as a group, as a group. Put it in quotes. Ethnology is the science of people, their culture, and life history as a group. Bracket given by Krober. Krober. Okay, next line. Next point. It compares and analyzes. It compares and analyzes the characteristics, the characteristics of different people, of different people, and the relationship, and the relationship between them. Underline the word comparative and analysis. Compare and analysis. Underline, compare and analyze. Okay, next point. The goal of ethnology is to compare and analyze, to compare and analyze cultural practices, comma, beliefs, and social structures, across different society, to identify patterns, and underlying principles, over here, this point. Next point. The goal or aim is to generate theories, underline the word, generate theories, and insight into human culture, that can be applied across various contexts. Any doubt? The word ethnology, word anthropology, its definition. So either it can be asked as a question. Okay, if you see previous year question, they have asked what is anthropology, what is its meaning and scope. Simple question. Same thing they can ask about ethnology also. See, anthropology is much more vast, much more wider, because anthropology does not only focus on culture. It studies human physical features, human biology, human evolution, everything. Whereas ethnology is very specific to study culture of humans. So as the discipline became more wider, they started to reduce the use of word ethnology and they started to use the word anthropology. Because anthropology is wider, it studies everything about man. Whereas here, it is mainly comparative and it focuses only on culture. Is that understood, all of you? So initially the subject anthropology started as study of culture, primitive culture. They compared it with their own culture. Who is they? The Europeans. It started in Europe, the subject. It's very recent, 19th century, very young subject. Okay, so it started only post colonization, where people started to get lot of information. When I say people, European, in university, Britain and other universities, when people started to get information from travelers, colonizers, missionary workers, they wrote back letters. Okay, they used this to build theories, analyze, understand culture, etc. Okay, so that is what is ethnology. But as things progressed, they started to focus on physical aspects, biology, etc. So that's why they started to use the word. Excuse me. So that's where they started to use the word anthropology. Okay. So related to this, there's another word called as ethnography. Now again, let's try to understand it. Now what did we say? Ethno was folk, people, nation. Graphy means what? Yes? Graphy, to write. Okay, graphy means to write. You might have heard, no? Yeah, it's to write. So when you write about the folk or culture of people, it is called as ethnography. So basically ethnography, when we use the word, see these words are somewhat synonymously used. Anthropology, ethnology, ethnography, ethnographers, ethnologists, anthropologists, they all somehow synonymously they are used sometimes. So I am just trying to give you an introduction to these words. So anthropology, ethnology, ethnography. So ethnography is mainly a research method where ethnologists or anthropologists, when they go visit a particular culture and when they write about it, that becomes ethnography. Writing about a particular culture, staying with them, doing field work, observing them, participating in their activities, writing about it is called as ethnography. Simple. So what is it? Ethnography is a research method used by whom? Those who practice anthropology and ethnology. Both are same. Ethnology and anthropology are same. Just that anthropology is wider. As the discipline of ethnology progressed, they started realizing ethnology is too narrow. Anthropology is much more wider. So many universities renamed the subject as anthropology. The method it is used to write about it. You go to some culture, African, Asian, Australia, and you write about them, that is ethnography. It's a systematic study of people and their culture by presenting an empirical data. How do you present? You write about it in a very prescribed manner. So it can be a knowledge or a system of meaning of people of a cultural group. Okay, ethnography means you have written about them. Or it can be a tool. Both, it means the same. Or it can be used as the same thing. Meaning, when you write about somebody, that itself is an ethnography. Now I will go to the Todas in Nilgiri Hills. I will study them and I will write about the Toda tribes. That becomes the ethnography of Todas. I will come to Chandralayot and I will study civil service aspirants, their way of life, what time they get up, what is their cultural practices, what food they eat, how do they interact. That becomes the ethnography of civil service aspirants. They do that today. You know, modern anthropologists visit present day societies in urban industries, etc., and they try and understand corporate life, how it is. So documenting that itself becomes ethnography, or it can be a tool used by anthropologists to document various people. Is that okay? Or it can be a method. The document itself can be called as ethnography, or the thing that they are doing itself can be called as ethnography. Is that okay? So me coming to Chandralayot and making a study is ethnography, and then I write about it also can be called as ethnography. If I am doing that, I am an anthropologist or an ethnologist. Simple. Okay. So ethnography is again try to provide a holistic understanding of that particular culture. Now, when these ethnographies are there with me, if I am Tyler and my friend has sent me documents from different places, when I use it to do a comparative study and come up with theory, what am I doing? Ethnology. What is ethnology? It is comparative study. What do you do in comparative study? Can you just rely on one document, one culture? No, you need more than one culture to do comparison. So ethnography of many cultures, when they are compared, that is called as ethnology. So this is comparative study. Okay, please write down ethnography. Give the subheading ethnography. Again, what will you write? It is derived from the word, Greek word ethno, meaning folk, people, nation, nation, and graphy. And graphy means to write. And graphy means to write. Thus, ethnography is a systematic study. Ethnography is a systematic study of people and describing them and describing them. Next point, it is a research method. It is a research method used by ethnologists or anthropologists. It's a research method used by anthropologists or ethnologists. Next one. Here anthropologists presents empirical data. Presents empirical data. Empirical means the present. Empirical data. What it is, like that, empirical data on human society and culture. Human society and culture. Next point. Ethnography has two meanings. Ethnography has two meanings. Dash. Next line, first. One. Next line, one. As a knowledge and systematic meanings and systematic meaning in the lives of a culture, in the lives of the culture or group. Next line, 2. It is a method of data collection. It is a method of data collection. Okay, next point. Ethnographers or ethnography aims at providing a holistic understanding of culture. A holistic understanding of culture. Shall we write the comparison just to give clarity? Anthropology, ethnology and ethnography. Please write a table. I think now you should be able to understand. Anthropology. Yes, anthropology is broad because it studies socio, cultural, biological, everything about humans. Whereas ethnology is mainly comparative and theoretical study of culture within anthropology. Today it's now a sub branch under anthropology because it mainly focuses on what? Culture. Mainly focuses on culture. Anthropology is wider, ethnology is narrower in scope. Whereas ethnography is nothing but a method to describe, to make note of. Scope, all encompassing, here it is only culture. It is a method, field work. You go visit a particular culture, you write about them. The key activities, various aspects, as I told you, socio, cultural, biological. Here it is mainly comparative. Here it involves a method called as fieldwork. This fieldwork itself is an essay type question. So ethnologists write ethnography or anthropologists write ethnography by undertaking fieldwork. Okay, write down this. So something comparative can be asked like this. A 10 marker question, anthropology and ethnology can be asked. Okay, but very rare or unlikely, but you should be aware as a student of anthropology, you should be aware of these terms. What is anthropology? What do you mean by ethnology? What do you mean by ethnography? Okay, so these are the differential or comparison between the three. Is that understood, all of you? Any doubt? Shall we move on? All right. So the next topic, okay, is development of anthropology as a discipline. So you can give the heading, development of anthropology. I mean, this is basically the story of how anthropology as a subject originated. I mean, it's just for the sake of completion, but just be aware that as a modern discipline, anthropology is very young. It only started after colonization. Okay, after European Renaissance, the modern discipline of anthropology. But what is the main essence of anthropology or ethnology? Now we know that it basically studies culture. Study of culture has always been done, no doubt. Okay, historians have studied culture, yes or no? Historians, what have they done? They study the culture of the past. How was it during the past when written records were there? Okay, so ancient times, what was the culture? Modern times, what is the culture? Culture of Mesopotamia, culture of Indus Valley civilization. They have tried and studied, historians, yes or no? Sociologists also have studied culture, right? Sociology is study of society and the practices of that particular society. They have also studied it. Okay, economists have studied culture. Philosophers have studied culture. What is philosophy? In ethics paper, what you study, no, ethics, GS4. What is ethics? Yes, what is ethics? Ethics is to do with what is right and what is wrong. It is nothing but studying human behavior, right? From a moral point of view. Ethics is what? Study of human action or human behavior from a moral point of view, whether it is right or whether it is wrong. Who studies ethics other than civil service aspirants now? You know, generally which discipline studies morality, ethics and all? Which optional subject? Philosophy. Philosophers or philosophy. So they have also studied human behavior. What is human behavior? Culture. Correct, no? So culture from an ethical point of view also have been studied by philosophers. From Aristotle, Plato, all these guys, they have all studied it. They have also studied. Historians have studied, economists have studied, political science, they have also studied from a political point of view. So as such, study of culture is nothing new. But the modern discipline, there was no term called as anthropology. Because nobody exclusively had any to do with culture and all that. So modern discipline only happened in the 19th century. This is the story. Okay, but at least for our exam point of view, or to just write about 2 pages on the history, we will try and kidnap some other subjects scholars and say it is ours. For example, we consider Herodotus, okay, to be the father of anthropology. But actually he is the father of history. One day we kidnapped him, okay, and said that no, he is our father also. Okay, so anthropology can trace its roots to writing about culture of different people by Greek scholars. So Greek scholars, see, we have to find some people want to always know our origin. Anthropologists also, they are like, no, we also want an origin. So we say that it all started in Greece when Greek philosophers during ancient time used to study about people's culture, way of life, study and analyze it from a historical, cultural, ethical point of view. So we say that 5th century BC, the Greek philosophers, they all used to study about people's culture. When Greece went and occupied Persia and they got to know about their culture, people wrote about it. They discussed in their houses, in various public forums, they used to discuss. So we will trace, shall we tell that yes, origin of anthropology is, in the ancient time is Greek philosophers. Let's tell it. let's say, and we'll kidnap the father of history, that is Herodotus, who wrote about the history of people at that time only. So that historical description of people were cultural in nature. So we said, no, 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 he's our father also. Okay, so Herodotus is now considered as the one of the father of anthropology. But there is no, kind of, so we have, anthropology has many fathers. Okay, so modern times may several, like Tyler sometimes, Malinowski, like that there are several fathers, Franz Boas. We'll come to all that later. Okay, now, then later on during the medieval times, you had all the, at that point of time, Persia, etc., they were flourishing centers of education. Okay, so you had many scholars who were writing about people, culture, okay, all that. So, some example like Abu Rayyan Biruni, another Arab historian, Ibn Khaldun, they all wrote about culture, people's life. They actually went to different places, cities, lived with the people, wrote about their culture, like how modern anthropologists do it. So therefore we say that modern anthropology like studies were even done during the ancient medieval times. And then during medieval times you had several travelers who traveled, like Marco Polo, you might have heard, yes, traveled across the world. Okay, the Venetian traveler from Europe who went to different parts of the world, who came to Asian countries, etc., and wrote about the culture, like modern anthropology. So even then, that also can be talked about. Okay, so Richard Harvey was the first one to use this word anthropology during this time. But the modern subject of anthropology started only in 17th and 18th century. What was the reason behind that? I have already explained now. What was the reason? Colonization. So therefore, it is considered that anthropology is the child of colonization. It was born out of colonization. When rulers, when when the European colonizers, travelers, merchants, okay, when they reached different countries, they wrote about that culture. And it is also because of the influence of Darwin. Okay, Darwin, scientific study of physical evolution, influenced several disciplines, including anthropology. Okay, so therefore sometimes anthropology is also called as the child of Darwin. Is that okay? Because Darwin's theory influenced those who were interested in studying culture. They wanted to study how culture originated and how it evolved. Like how physically we have evolved, culturally also we have evolved. Look at this two picture. Darwin said we evolved from primates, from simple to complex. Tyler, Morgan, these anthropologists or those who are interested in cultural studies, they also thought, like Darwin, can I apply that principle to study of culture? So they applied it to study of culture, and they said that man also evolved from simple to more complex. So the first theory in anthropology is also based on Darwin's theory of evolution, cultural evolution. Darwin talked about organic evolution by the principle of survival of fittest. Same thing. They used the same principle and talked about evolution of culture. So therefore, it is considered as the child of Darwin. Anthropology is also considered as child of sun. So what happened in this 17th, 18th century? The travelers, merchants, okay, missionary workers. So they went in search of what? God, to spread God, to get glory, and to get gold. G. God, glory, and God. No, God, glory, and gold. Okay, merchants went in search of gold. Okay, travelers went in search of glory, and missionary workers, Christian missionary workers went in search of, or rather to spread God. So when they went in search of this, or went across the world, navigated, went to Asia, went to America, went to Australia, what did they do? When they came across these people, they wrote back to their friends. Tyler, Morgan, they did not travel. Their friends traveled. And they collected that information and gave it to Tyler, gave it to Morgan. And Morgan, Tyler, they wrote books, Introduction to Anthropology. They wrote these books. And they started to teach those things to their students. in universities. So the first time in Oxford University, a subject was created called as anthropology. That gave rise to modern anthropology. Only when it is taught in universities, it starts to get experimented. So first theory also was developed in Oxford and other universities in Europe, and such theory was called as evolutionary theories. And then that was criticized, new theories were developed, more scientific methods were incorporated. See, Tyler sat in his office, AC chamber, did not do anything. So they were called as armchair anthropologists. What were they called as? Armchair, because they never left their chair. And it was criticized because you never went to any culture or society and you wrote about them. How hypocritical can you get? So they were criticized. And younger anthropologists started to question, why is it evolutionary? Why animism is the earliest? Why not this, etc. And when they went and visited other places, they found contradictory statement. Some of the most primitive societies, their religion was monotheism. Is that okay? Like that, they found evidences against their theories. Then they started questioning evolution itself is wrong. They came up with newer theories like diffusion, functionalism, structuralism. So it started to enrich the discipline of anthropology and started to grow. So they started to experiment with other things like biological anthropology. Same thing, these colonists, when they visited, when they came to Africa, they're like, oh my God, black people. Okay, how can they be different? Tall people, short people. They were intrigued by their physical characters and they started to study why they are different. Not just cultural point of view, but also from biological point of view. So it gave rise to newer subdisciplines called as biological anthropology, physical anthropology, archaeological anthropology, and all of that. So it started to become much more diverse anthropology discipline. They started to be taught in countries like India, third world country, developing nations also started to take up anthropology. Many sociology departments, master's degree was offered in anthropology. Research were done by Indian anthropologists. Indians went elsewhere and studied. So all that started to happen as we progressed in the 90s and all of that. And today it is being taught even in civil services examination. It's a part of your course because anthropology will help you to become sensitive to people's culture, way of life, and you become better administrators. And that is why anthropology as a subject was taught by British for their civil servants. It was a subject that was taught for civil servant in their training because anthropology made them simple, empathetic towards people's way of life. Today also you are taken on Bharat Darshan. What is Bharat Darshan? You are going and visiting the diverse culture of India to know the culture. Why? So that you can administer them better. Thus, anthropology makes you more sensitive to people's way of life and thus be a better person, better administrators for the future. So that's how anthropology has evolved. A small story on anthropology. But a question can be asked on development of anthropology. A small note on ancient time, small note on medieval times and how it developed in the modern times to give rise to this modern discipline of anthropology. Initially ethnology and then later the name was changed to socio-cultural anthropology and later anthropology. Is that okay, guys? We'll write down. Okay, we'll end the class with this. We'll write it down tomorrow. First day, let me just end the class with that. So tomorrow we'll start with this. Okay, and we'll start with our first chapter, that is socio-cultural anthropology, where we'll be starting with marriage. Okay, so in this marriage chapter, which is the first one, that's what is more important. So in this marriage chapter, we will be starting with, definition of marriage, what are the different types of marriage, what is incest taboo, what are the types of marriage finance like dowry, okay, bride wealth, services like that, what are the different types of financial transaction and why it is there, why dowry is there in some society, why bride wealth is there in some society, why others are there, what are the marriage regulations, endogamy rule, exogamy rule, okay, like that, what are the different types, okay, of rules, marriage payment and functions of marriage, why marriage is universal, what functions does marriage perform, and all those things will be part of the discussion. Is that okay? We'll start with this chapter tomorrow. Is that okay, guys? Are you all comfortable? If you have any doubts, suggestions, you can ask. Is that okay? So I'll see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock. Is that okay? Fine. Thank you. Have a good day. Yes, please. Ah. Ah. So it is a type, you can bring it between animism and polytheism. So nature worship, Tyler doesn't define it. So we can interpret it as a variant of animism, where you are worshipping the nature as nature has soul. So you are worshipping tree. Why? Because it has soul. You are worshipping animals because it has soul. So therefore it can be a variant of animism. But Tyler doesn't talk about it, but since you asked, I am telling. Okay, others talk about nature worship and all of that. Tyler doesn't talk about nature worship specifically. He talks about animism, okay, polytheism and monotheism. We can interpret. See, there is another religion called as totemism. Now you told naturism or nature worship. There is another called as totemism, where you worship certain animal or tree or plant, considering it to be your ancestor. Like in American Red Indian tribes, they consider eagle as to be their totem. Many of our ancient kingdoms like Kadamba dynasty of Karnataka, they consider Kadamba tree as their totem. Mysore Wadayars, they consider Ganda Berunda as their totem. So what is totem? Totem is an ancestor. So like that, there are many variants in religion. When we do religion chapter, you will be more comfortable. Anything else, guys? Don't worry, all these are what we will be discussing in the future. Okay?